my spiritual master Srila Prabhupada described this Krishna consciousness movement as a cultural movement for the re-spiritualization of the entire human society. You will find in Srila Prabhupada's books a whole blueprint for how human life is to be led. It's to create a revolution, not just a social revolution, not just a political revolution, but first of all and primarily a revolution in consciousness. There's no revolution in consciousness. All of the revolutions fail. For example, first lesson in Vedic culture is we are not our bodies, but all living beings are spirit souls.
The Brahmin class means the first class ideal man. So that by the seeing their character, their behavior, others will try to follow. Jajjada acharati shrestha. So this Krishna consciousness movement means we are trying to create some first class man. This is Krishna consciousness. This movement.
Srila Prabhupada, he grew up in Calcutta, India, and he was growing up in a Vaishnava household, in Vaishnava culture. And then he actually, over the course of time, he had an opportunity to go to the West. This was in the early 1960s.
And one day he said that he would like to go to America. I was surprised. I said, Swamiji, don't go there. You are too old to go, and it will be too cold for you. Still he insisted. So I said, all right. So I made arrangement for him to go by Jaladuta.
Before he came to America, he translated the first three cantos, 3 volumes of the Bhagavatam. The first place that Prabhupada landed in America was in Boston here at Commonwealth Pier. So in 1966, then Prabhupada formally incorporated ISKCON in New York City as the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And over the course of the next 12 years, Prabhupada translated almost the entire Bhagavatam, up to the 10th canto. There were 2 more cantos. Prabhupada opened over 108 temples all around the world. As in the course of his preaching, he first started in New York City, and then he would travel to other cities. And obviously, people would be attracted there as well. And then they would help him set up a new temple, a new center. And it spread like that, so all over the world by the time of 1977, Prabhupada had over 108 temples. The purpose of ISKCON, or the Krishna Consciousness movement, is to teach others one central thing. And the one central thing is that all living beings, no matter if we're black, white, animal, any other species, the thing is that we're all spiritual beings, we're all spirit souls. Srila Prabhupada, he passed away in 1977. The ISKCON Boston Temple, it was first established by one of Srila Prabhupada's first disciples. His name is Satsvarup Maharaj. He was sent by Srila Prabhupada to Boston in 1967 to establish this temple. The first temple in Boston was on Alston Street, and then the second temple was established on Beacon Hill some years later. And then the present building where we are now, this temple, was established in 1974 on 72 Commonwealth Avenue. Devotees in the temple, basically it's a monastic lifestyle, so that means that all of us, we rise early in the morning, usually about 3:30. So the morning program, it's a concentrated activity. It goes from 4:15 until 9 o'clock in the morning. We chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra with instruments in the kirtan. The purpose of kirtan is for us to congregationally gather together and chant God's names with this sole purpose in mind, to achieve God realization and actual knowledge of God within our lives for this age.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.
The rest of the day, devotees have different duties within the temple. Maybe they're cooking, cleaning, some devotees out distributing books, other devotees doing office work, things like that. So it's very varied activity once the morning program is over. Book distribution is a very central practice of the Hare Krishna movement all around the world. And Srila Prabhupada, the founder of the movement, he emphasized it as one of the main functions of devotees in the Hare Krishna movement is to preach. And one way of doing that is through book distribution. Devotees go out, some every day, some at different times, but to distribute the literature through books of the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. And the ultimate objective of that is to teach others about spiritual life, about the benefits of taking up spiritual life. And so, through the function of book distribution, the devotee can do that in a very direct way. Sunday Feast, it's a traditional program for all ISKCON temples within the world. It was instituted by Srila Prabhupada during the 1960s as a way to introduce the philosophy and the practices of the Hare Krishna movement to the public at large. As many people obviously wonder, why we're doing the things we're doing, what the philosophy is. So it gives them a good opportunity to come to the temple and actually find out what we are doing and why we are doing it.
A person in Krishna consciousness certainly sees Lord Krishna everywhere, and he sees everything in Krishna. Such a person may appear to see all separate manifestations of the material nature, but in each and every instance is conscious of Krishna, knowing that everything is a manifestation of Krishna's energy. Nothing can exist without Krishna, and Krishna is the Lord of everything. This is the basic principle of Krishna consciousness.
I think one of the main reasons for me coming to Krishna consciousness, there's many varied reasons, but one of the main things is that through my life, I was always searching for basically what is the meaning of life. As we're growing up, we have so many experiences, with our friends, our family, at school. And through my experiences in that way, through my life, I always had this analyzing mentality or philosophical mentality of why is someone doing this thing, why are they doing that thing, and, what is the result of their activities. So through my life, many times people say that, material pleasure, material happiness, it will give you true happiness or true pleasure. If you get that perfect job or the perfect wife or the perfect acquisition, whatever material thing it may be, that you'll be satisfied and that you'll actually be happy in this world. But I could see that most people, when you ask them, are you satisfied? Are you happy? they say, no, but this is all I can get, you know. Some of those people, they're not happy, they're not satisfied fully. And I can see that just by analyzing the nature of experiences in my life. So my reason for coming to Krishna consciousness is just, it's that basic realization. Coming to the platform of seeing material life, what's the result of it? You know, material pleasure, what's the result of it? And should I really strive for it? It's like if you drive and you constantly hit brick walls or something, you don't do it anymore. You learn, you get realization that it won't lead to your betterment. It won't make you satisfied. So spiritual life for me is the alternative for that. Actually, you come into the realization that you can't become satisfied any other way, ultimately. In the Vedic scriptures, they state that as a human being in the human form of life, we should all inquire into what is the absolute truth. And the verse is Tato Brahma Jignasa, which means, now that I've got this human form of life, I should inquire into the absolute truth. So this is the function of a human life, human being. And I could see that. So this is the main reason for coming to Krishna consciousness.
Hare Krishna means addressing the energy of God. Hare means the energy of God, and Krishna means God. Vedic religion means to accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the Supreme Person, Absolute Truth. This is Vedic. Movement is to have God consciousness of the human being. The human being is distinguished from the animals, that the animals cannot understand what is God.